early in my life. I grew up on the farm in North Ireland. So my father always had the jobs for me and my brothers when we were young, driving the tractor, driving the pickup, driving the Land Rover. So I think from 9 years old or 10 years old already I was driving the vehicles. Then when I became maybe 11 years old, then my father bought us, me and my brothers, a motorcycle so that we could bring the cattle into the farm every night to be milked and go up the mountain to get the sheep. And so yeah, from very young I liked the motorcycles and the car very, very much. Well, in Hong Kong, I've been in Hong Kong 30 years, and when I first came, I started to get involved in the classic cars and the motorcycles in Hong Kong. But then I realized that in Hong Kong, I couldn't do the same things as I did back in UK and back in Europe and in America. So being an architect, I then asked the government, can we have the motorcycle show? Because I had been organizing the classic car show for the Classic Car Club. So after about 5 years of try, eventually we got to have the first motorcycle show in 2006. So this year was number 15 show that we held in Central. The culture of the Hong Kong motor. I mean, there is a very strong culture in Hong Kong. I mean, because we are relatively rich in Hong Kong, a lot of people can afford the motorcycle, can afford the car, whether it's not just for commuting, but for our pleasure. So here in Cam Tin, you will hear in the background the motorcycles racing up Route Twisk, and the cars as well at the weekend. But I mean, my idea about the museum that we'll talk about later, the reason I think we should be emphasizing motoring and classic car collection and classic motorcycles, etc. in Hong Kong, is that Hong Kong should be that focus within China. Hong Kong has had 100 years of motoring heritage in Hong Kong, whereas China, in mainland China, once 1949 happened, there were no more cars, no more motorcycles until maybe the 1980s for the general population. So we can teach the Chinese enthusiasts now about collecting, you know, motorcycles and the value of motorcycles and the passion for motorcycles and cars. So Hong Kong can take that lead as being the focus point for that. I can. For many years I try and talk to the government about it. And maybe I started talking 10 years ago and the government told me I had to set up the charity. So I set up the charity. That actually helped because with the charity I can do the shows in Central, I can ask for the government land. But for the motor museum, always the problem is asking the government for anything. You know, we are a very small club. You know, the government, they need the imagination to help us do that. I mean, I am hopeful. It's a good idea. Every big city around the world has a motor museum. So a motor museum in Hong Kong should be, well, an idea the government consider. I mean, my proposal is that we make Hong Kong the focus for classic cars, classic motorcycle appreciation. So to have a motor museum or somewhere where all the guys in Hong Kong that are interested in cars and bikes, etc. can gather, but then also our visitors from the mainland and our visitors from overseas have a focus to come to and see the history of Hong Kong. Because as I say, Hong Kong has 100 years of history that mainland China does not have. So in this region, Hong Kong should be number one, even better than Macau. Macau has got the racing, but Hong Kong has got the cars, the motorcycles here, because the enthusiasts, the collectors have got them in their collection. Yeah. I would encourage the young people, you know, see what interests them. Now as the new technologies come in, we have electric cars, etc. You know, what is going to be their passion in the future for their collection? Are they interested in new fast supercars? Or are they interested in classic cars, etc.? So it's fine to focus. My focus is the DeLorean. I mean, I come from North Ireland, and the DeLorean that was in the Back to the Future movie, that was built in Northern Ireland. So this became my focus, and I own 2 of these cars. So, you know, the young people nowadays, to get into motoring, it's going to become more and more expensive, I think, in Hong Kong. But if you have the passion, you have to feed that passion. The clubs in Hong Kong, there's a lot of passion, a lot of friends can be made, so I would encourage the young people to get involved, in that. Come to the shows, you will see all the motorcycles, all the cars, all the different vehicles in Hong Kong, then you decide what your passion will be. Thank you very much for watching this little interview, and all you guys are very welcome to the motorcycle shows in November and the motoring clubs festivals in January. All is free and everybody is welcome. Thank you.